Hey guys, and welcome back to Night's Journey of Dreams. What can we expect tonight, Mr. Ritchie?
So, in our dream tonight, we are going to be doing the rest of the levels in Pure Valley. I mean, basically that's the way that the entire playthrough is going to work, is that we have one part which is pretty much just dedicated to the first chase mission, because that generally takes up a reasonable amount of time, and then the second part of a Nightopia is the rest of the levels. Well, each Nightopia is split up into, I think it's 5 missions in total, and one is always a chase. One is always something called a link mission, which we will be seeing in this part. One is always a boss mission. And then you have 2 which vary depending on the Nightopia that you are in. And there are a grand total of 3 Nightopia per character. And then there is the final level. But we are quite a ways from that right now, so just listen to Al explain Idia and all that jazz.
Or you could just go back and watch our playthrough of Nights into Dreams and you'll know all about Idia.
Pretty much.
It is essentially the component of one's emotional core, would you say, Richard?
That is indeed correct.
Oh yeah, A+.
One thing that I kind of get a bit confused about is I think it's mainly just the way they explain it in this game, is they say that, well, if somebody comes to Nightopia, they automatically lose all their Idia. But the Nightopias are actually made of the Idia. And it just feels like, so they lose them all, so how can they... It's very confusing. Like I said, I just don't think that it's as best described.
No, I think it's only humans who have to abide by that rule.
Yeah, I mean, I think that basically the situation is that normally the Nightopia are built using the Idia, but Will and Helen, and obviously in the original games, Elliot and Clarice retain the red Idia of courage, which allows them to build the Nightopia. So I think that's the logic. But I can't quite remember.
Yeah, that was it. It was a case of they lose their Idia on their way to the world and everything, but the Nightmarians are trying to collect the Idia. So if they've lost them all, how can the Nightmarians collect them?
We're in a dream world, let it go.
Seriously, Jesus Christ.
So this is a link mission. We have this cute little thing called Octopore, and just like an octopus squirts ink, Octopore squirts out rings.
Okay.
And ink.
So we need to go through all of those rings and try and get past 30 links. That's just to pass the level. If you want to get an A rank, you need to do a hell of a lot better than that.
Is it just teaching you how to build up combos?
Well, pretty much, but also it's testing you to see how high you can go.
Okay.
And really that is the main joy of the link missions, is seeing how many links you physically can get.
You get 5 tries to get at least 30. Once you get 30, you've at least passed. If you get 100, then you've pretty much guaranteed yourself an A rank.
It's like in the PS1 Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone game when you're doing the flying mission. You can pass normally with a certain amount, but if you get a really high score, you get a distinction.
Mm-hmm. What you're going to see me do throughout the course of the link missions is constantly try to beat my previous link score. Because, well, why not? That's their entire purpose. Might as well do whatever I damn well can.
And he has to pad out the time of the video.
Well, that too, but...
I'm seeing you missing rings here, Mr. Man. It's disgraceful.
Well, you can miss rings. It's not hugely important as long as you keep the link going.
Oh,
That's
okay.
the important bit.
See, I was under the, I guess, misunderstanding, wrong assumption, whatever you want to call it, that you do have to hit all the rings to maintain a combo, but I guess there's like a time limit between hitting rings?
Yeah, you can tell by the text in the middle. The further back it's going, that's your timer.
Okay.
This is something that I think is also improved in Journey of Dreams, is the ability to get links, because I always found it really difficult in Into Dreams to get a big combo up, because I always found it so difficult to tell where the rings were necessarily, or where the blue chips were. So my links constantly got broken, so it was very difficult to get a combo up, because the only way of understanding that is trial and error and memorising the level to know exactly where you need to go. Whereas in Journey of Dreams, it's just much more fluid in that respect. You are given enough time between each thing to be able to actually succeed. And in the end, I just find that more fun, because it feels like you're being successful.
Yeah.
Even if it's relatively simple, the fact that you are succeeding is what makes it fun.
Oh, let's see what you got here. It better be good.
E.
I thought it was going to go to E for a second.
That would be a pretty evil result if that were the case.
Yes, it would. It's funny you slightly bring up like depth perception and whatnot issues, Richie. I'm surprised there was no like Nights into Dreams 3DS port.
Well, here's the thing. After Journey of Dreams, which obviously didn't do brilliantly well with the critics and didn't really sell too well, Sega haven't really touched the franchise since. Obviously, Nights has appeared in like the Sega Superstar stuff and Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing Transformed and all that jazz.
Yeah, they like the character, not so much the property it's attached to.
Yeah, so they've not returned to the franchise at all, and, well, I think a Nights on the 3DS would have been quite cool. Sega just haven't got any interest in doing it whatsoever, so I've pretty much given up all hope of there ever being a third Nights game. But if one were to happen, I would hope that it was at least as heartwarming as Journey of Dreams is for me, and at that point I would be happy.
I've always kind of felt like the Night series, as well as a few others, but Nights in particular would work so much well if they only released one new game like every decade.
Every generation, maybe.
Yeah, well, pretty much like that, but I just feel like every decade, because then it's like they've got plenty of time to build up new ideas, and also, as we're going to kind of see with what they did with this game, I kind of feel like it would be a good way to continue the trend. Just with a little tiny detail that they did for this game, in terms of the original, which I would love them to keep doing, but would need to be quite a sizable gap between the games to do it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the thing is that it took, I think, 11 years between Into Dreams and Journey of Dreams to come out, so we are due Nights 3 in 2018-2019. Come on, chop chop, Sega.
Yeah, TikTok, mate, you're on the clock here.
This is a mission I'm not particularly fond of.
And why is that, Rich?
So, what you're doing is you are trying to save the Nightopians, which are getting dragged away by dandelions, because obviously they are small, tiny little sods, and they get lifted up so easily by dandelions.
And they can't just let go.
No! I love this little flower. It's a weed, mate, it's a weed.
So you are only given five opportunities to lose a Nightopian, otherwise you will fail the mission. And if you want to get the A rank, you can't let a single Nightopian vanish.
You kept trying until you got an A rank, didn't you?
Pretty much, yeah. This is a pretty hard mission to A rank.
Well, they gave you an out. There's a thing called acceptable losses, you know.
I know, but I love this game so much that I wanted to show it off to the best of my abilities. Because when I first recorded Night's Journey of Dreams, that was just an average run. That was just doing whatever it took to get to the end.
Yeah.
Because there are certain levels and bosses which are frustrating, this being one of them.
Yeah.
And obviously it was my first one, so I wasn't sure what the hell I was doing.
What even is a Let's Play?
Yeah. But by the time I got to doing it again, this was it was my revival, almost, in terms of finding my style and finding what I wanted to do with my commentaries, of trying to show off as much of a game as physically possible. So, because I'd already done a simple run of Nights, I thought, well, you know what? I'm going to try and get a straight A rank run. And you will see how successful that is.
Ooh.
So hopefully it'll make up for the NAF run of Nights into Dreams.
Yeah, it was fine, mate. I think you're too hard on yourself, honestly.
I just love how easy you made that mission actually look. It's like, if you're able to keep up with everything and you know where they're going to pop up, it's incredibly easy. The map isn't all that helpful.
Yeah, it's just the second you lose sight of one, it just becomes a nightmare because you're playing catch-up the entire time, and you just can't do well at the mission playing catch-up.
I know it's an odd thing to bring up now, but whenever it goes to the loading screen of them like drifting through, I always get a bit creeped out by the hand motion. Because the hands, it looks like they're made out of jelly somehow.
A little bit uncanny, is it?
I thought you were going to mention the frustration of the fact of after every mission you're kicked out to the dream gate and then have to run back to the door to go back into the level.
Jelly hands! Jelly hands!
Oh god, yeah.
Well, I guess that's what your dad leaving does to you. You just get the old jelly hands.
Oh, yay! It's going to be time for one of the nightmare-inducing transformations for Nights.
Oh god.
Oh, okay. This I've heard all about.
This one's alright. It's the one in the next Nightopia that is a problem.
Oh yeah.
That's the one that is truly nightmare-inducing.
Yeah, it's basically, if you've played All-Stars Racing Transformed and you've seen what Nights transforms to in that game, prepare for a shock.
Oh god, here comes Black Doom.
Well, no, it's Wiseman, Tom. It's the guy that we beat up at the end of Into Dreams because he's the big bad of the Nights universe.
He's very clearly the boss of Shadow the Hedgehog, voiced by fucking Sean Shamel, right?
Well, actually, no. He is voiced, I believe, by Roger Jackson.
Okay. That's not what Roger Craig Smith alias is. What the fuck is this?
This is Boat Nights.
Why even?
Yeah, this is another particularly difficult mission to A rank, because I can't remember exactly how many Nightopians you need to save. I think it's something like above 40, and obviously you've got to get those Nightopians, but also do it in a reasonable amount of time. So this one is difficult.
And the controls aren't all that great.
Yeah, they're a bit stiff.
I was gonna say.
Something that I haven't brought up yet is the Dream Drops, which are secret collectibles that you can get in the game. We did pick up one, I believe, either towards the start of this part or maybe late in the last part. More likely to be the start of this part. And one of the ones in this one, which is just off the jump that we just failed, that one is a blighter to get. I'll explain more about the Dream Drops in the bonuses, because that's what their entire purpose is for.
The more you talk about Dream Drops, the more I think about Kingdom Hearts, to be quite honest.
Well, to be fair, I mean, Night's Journey of Dreams did use the term Dream Drop first.
Okay,
so,
fair enough. Now, it's funny, I look at this and my mind goes back to a game that was both in the arcades and also on the Dreamcast, and it's a game called Hydro Thunder.
Oh, I loved Hydro Thunder.
Not playing arcades much, Rich?
Not really, unfortunately. Sorry. I mean, the most that I did in arcades was Dancing Stage Euromix, because that was always fun. Mario Kart GP.
Oh, I'm jealous. I've always wanted to play either of the Mario Kart GP games.
I played both of them, I think.
You... Continue, it's fine.
Well, I mean, it's basically because in the amusements where my grandparents lived, to start with, well, They eventually got Mario Kart GB, the first one, and then they got the second one and replaced it eventually. So I always used to go on that. There's also a game called Spider Stomp, which was just so much fun.
Please stop bouncing.
You're lowering the frame rate.
Oh god, it's dropping terribly. Jesus. But yeah, Sega in arcades was the shit. You had Crazy Taxi. That's about it. That's all I can really think of off the top of my head.
Virtual Cop.
Oh, was that them?
Yeah. I think Sega had all the virtual games.
Alright, Sega arcade games.
House of the Dead?
Was that Sega?
I think so.
Oh yeah, of course, because it was in Sonic All-Stars Racing Transformed.
Yeah. Right, now that we have done the 4 main missions of Pure Valley, we are going into the boss level. So we've already faced down Dombalon once before, but that was easy mode. Now it's time to take on Dombalon in hard mode.
I do have to laugh at this, what Knight says here. Because it's saying, oh, this is what's been causing all these problems. But what problems did it actually cause? Because it was Wiseman that was doing everything in those other 2 missions, so what did this guy do?
I don't know.
Kyle, don't rip apart the game's narrative with nitpicks, alright? Yuji Naka worked very hard on this game.
Well, no, Takashi Iizuka worked
It's
really
a
hard on this
fucking
game.
joke, Jesus. Okay, what differences can we expect from this fight, Richard?
So the level is much longer, so you are going to be doing quite a bit of pushing.
Okay.
Also, because this is solely a boss, you only have to worry about the time. You don't get any sort of boost from the level beforehand, which is what happens during the chases. Because if you do very well in the chases, but not necessarily so well during the boss, there is still the opportunity to get an A rank. Whereas in this, you've got to do well, otherwise you ain't getting that A rank.
Uh-huh.
But this is obviously a lot more difficult because it's longer and we're getting into a bit where there's loads of moving parts.
How do you fare on this one, Kyle?
At first, I did actually have a lot of trouble because I wasn't really used to the controls and the way the camera moves.
Fair enough.
But it does become easier the more you do it, because you definitely get used to the way he moves. But I just since I've played both games, I do kind of feel like the bosses in this game are actually easier as a whole, but they have a bit more uniqueness to them.
Yeah, I would agree with that assessment. I think because, for the most part, the bosses are very clear in what they expect you to do.
Yeah, I agree, yeah.
There were quite a few bosses in Into Dreams that you could easily get confused on. I mean, you had Claws, which was the one with the firework mice things that it landed on.
Oh, yeah,
which, obviously, you're meant to destroy all the mice fireworks to be able to actually hit him, which I suppose makes sense and you eventually figure out, but it's not immediately clear.
Nice rebound, by the way.
Thank you. And then you have... oh god, what else is there? You had the Jester one. Oh god, what was he called? Either way... oh, Jax, yeah. Where you're meant to hit his cards back at him and then hit him before he gets his cloak back. And that's a bit confusing. But either way, Pure Valley is done!
The white idiot of what now?
This white light.
Will's about to tell us.
Oh.
This is the purity that was missing from my heart.
White idea of purity.
Oh, so pure. Never again will I have to suffer harm, anime. Get out of here! Why did I use the same terrible boss twice? I should have just said Friala.
Bonbon didn't fall. Oh wait, there he goes.
Rihanna's like, shit, I should not have signed up to work for this guy.
Well, Riala didn't really have a choice because Wiseman made him. Well, Wiseman made Riala. I should continue using the genderless pronouns. Because Riala is technically also genderless, but either way.
Very well, but do not fail me again.
He's fucking Black Doom. I don't care what anyone says. We'll see you guys next time for more Nice Journey of Dreams.